Alright guys, we're going to run through the paradox stuff again. I have a whole bunch of screenshots I grabbed here off of Google and Facebook. This one right here comes from DC Geckos. It looks to be a patternless stripe radar. There's a monster paradox spot on its back. It's got all that pattern and everything that shouldn't be there. It's one of the most incredible geckos I think I've ever seen. This is one of Steve Sykes's from Geckos, etc. This is a random one from Google, but I put this one on here because this is really what we're hoping for. I actually had a female with almost an identical spot. She's one of the few that we did let go of, but we're really hoping to get colored spots because they almost always seem to be super bright tangerine or almost a reddish color, and that's really what we were hoping for with this project. But anyway, I did breed them into my albinos as well. I have some het bell stuff that we bred one of the males to, and we pretty much have conclusively proven that it can be passed on, and it seems to pass on in a dominant fashion. It only takes one visual paradox to produce more of them. And I'm going to run through the stuff I have. This first girl right here was one that was produced over at Dave's House of Reptiles. She comes directly from the original, who was a red stripe female that he bought, and that red stripe had a big paradox spot on the side of its face and neck, and he bred her to an Inferno, and this is one of the many babies that came out showing paradoxing. So my two girls that I used initially are 50% red stripe and then 50% Inferno, and both display noticeable paradoxing. This girl right here has like 7 or 8 spots. I counted 6 a while back, but when I had her out today, I think I found another one. She's got them all over her wrist, her back, her face, and a lot of her legs have them around the ankles and stuff like that. Or the wrist, whatever. But anyway, really the whole goal was obviously to get the paradoxing to pass on, but we also were hoping to be able to manipulate it a little more through line breeding. We did breed one of the males that we produced over at Dave's back to the females this year, the original female, and one of her offspring, and we did produce more paradoxes in that pairing as well, but it didn't really seem to... It's not like there were bigger spots or anything, so I'm not sure how much line breeding is going to affect it, but we really only did those 2 pairings, so we don't have a lot of evidence on that. Like I said before, the paradox stuff is pretty cool, but sometimes when you get a real nice one, it just does some pretty crazy stuff. I've seen what I was looking for on geckos, etc. was there's a picture of one where it's actually got an albino eye on one side and then a normal eye on the other side. But anyway, this girl right here, that big old spot on the inside of her leg, she was the first visual one that was a definite. And then not long after that, this one's a little bit younger, but we did hatch this one with the big old spot on her face here. And like I said, all these guys would be 75% Inferno blood now. We're not really looking to retain the red stripe look. We didn't really get it on any of the offspring, and I really don't care about it as far as this project goes. The sole purpose in breeding them into it was just to get the paradoxing, and then we're going to really try to get back to as close to pure Inferno blood as possible. The offspring from the father back to his babies will already be in the 80s. But this girl right here, she's got that big spot on her face. She never really was 100% on it, but that spot did come way after her head pattern and all that, so I'm pretty confident that that is paradoxing. And then her clutch mate also has a spot, but it's bright white. And I've seen similar stuff to this before. I can't guarantee that's a paradox spot, but I will say this: most of the ones, like my male, had white wristbands, or not wristbands, I'm sorry, from his shoulders out to his elbows were completely white when I got him, and then the tangerine kind of took it over as he aged. This thing is way older than he was when he had lost his, so I'm pretty confident that that might stick around. Get a little group shot here before I close out the video, but this is something they develop over time, so a lot of these could show paradoxing that don't already. And this is something we're going to be working on for years, so definitely stay tuned. Hopefully we pop out some really cool stuff in the future.